Happy Tuesday. We have three graphs that I would like to go over today. What I would like you to do is I would like you to write the problem down for each of these graphs. Then pause the video. Then do the problem. Come up with a picture. Come up with a graph. Then restart the video. And that's going to show you the solutions. Okay? And this is on your own. You can get through this video in probably 5 minutes if you just watch it all the way through and don't pay attention and just copy everything down. And that's fine. That's a your call. That's not a me call. Okay? However, you're going to get more out of it if you follow these steps. Write the problem down, pause the video, do the problem, then hit start again. Okay? So here we go. Here's the first one. Okay? I want you to graph without using a graphing calculator or without using Desmos. I want you to graph f of x equals 2x over x squared minus 4. Graph that for me now. Pause the video. Restart it when you are done. Or if you're stuck. One of the two. First step, you've got to set the denominator equal to 0. That is going to give us the domain. The domain is all real numbers, but x cannot be plus or minus 2, which means that I have 2 vertical asymptotes. Oops, tap the brakes on this, wrote v again. First one is at x equals negative 2. Second one is at x equals positive 2. Those are vertical asymptotes, so they go on our graph using a vertical line and a dashed line. Looks like we got a double extra line up there. Keep going. Okay. All right, there we go. Shove in. Next step, find the horizontal asymptote. I have y, or an exponent of 1 on the top. I have an exponent of 2 on the bottom. That is a small over big case. So that is going to be a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. Dashed again. Because it's on the axes, if you wanted to use those slashes through there so that you can clearly signify and you can clearly see that horizontal asymptote, that'd be fine with me. Make it look like that, make it even prettier. That's awesome. Yep. Next step, I need to find my y-intercept. This is step number 3. Find my y-intercept. Well, that means I'm going to plug 0 in to my function. F of 0 is going to be 2 times 0. 0 squared is 0 minus 4, so that's going to be 0 over negative 4, which is just 0. So I get a y-intercept of the origin. Uh-oh, that's right on my horizontal asymptote. Oh. Next, I try my x-intercept. My x-intercept, I set the numerator equal to 0, and I solve. That's also going to be 0, which means that's also there. Like it. Okay? 3 zones now. So my first zone is over here. I'm going to try first off negative 3. Plug in negative 3, I get negative 6 on the top. On the bottom, I get 5, positive 5. So that's going to be a little bit more than negative 1. Okay. Then probably go with negative 10-ish there. So that's going to be negative 20 over 96. That's going to be a little bit less than 0.2, negative 0.2. So down here on this, in this zone, in this sector, we got there. I know it doesn't cross the x-axis there because I didn't have an x-intercept. Okay? Then we're going to try out that middle zone. I'm going to try out with negative 1 and positive 1. Negative 1 is going to give me negative 2 over negative 3. That's going to be positive 2/3. Positive 1 is going to give me positive 2 over negative 3, which is going to be negative 2/3. So in this section, I'm actually crossing over the x-axis because I have an x-intercept. And that's legal to cross a horizontal asymptote. I can't cross a vertical asymptote, but I can cross a horizontal asymptote. So that's legal. Okay? And over here, we're going to try positive 3. That's going to be positive 6 over 5, which is a little bit more than 1. And then if we try positive 10, that's going to be positive 20 over 96, which is going to be a little bit more than 0.2. So then we can draw in this section, and it's going to look like that. There we go. Put your right on there. Okay. And there's the graph for that one. Next graph, please try graphing this without a graphing calculator. Got distracted, so I don't know if I told you that this is the next problem or not, but this is the next problem. You should pause and do it on your own. X squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. That's going to factor to be x minus 2 times x plus 1. That's going to be x minus 2 equals 0, so that's going to be x equals 2. 1 equals 0, so x is going to be negative 1. So my domain here is going to be all real numbers, but x cannot equal negative 1 or positive 2. That's going to give me vertical asymptotes at x equals negative 1 and at x equals 2. Dashed lines at negative 1. Positive 2. Horizontal asymptote, degree on the top is 1, degree on the bottom is 2, so that is a small over big case, which is y equals 0. Y-intercept, f of 0, in this case h, but we'll just call it f still. 0 over 0 minus 0 minus 2 is going to be 0 over negative 2. So my y-intercept is 0, 0. X-intercept, numerator equal to 0. So my x-intercept would also be the origin. Oh, let's see. Let's try negative 2. Negative 2 would be negative 2 on the top. 4 minus negative 2 is like 4 plus 2, which is 6, minus 2, which is like 4. So that's going to be negative 1/2. Negative 10. That's going to be negative 10 on the top. 100 plus 10 is 110, minus 2 is 108. That's going to be like negative 1/10. So left zone, tight hook. Middle zone, we got 0, so let's try 1. 1 is going to be 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, minus 2 is negative 2, so that's negative 1/2. So we got there. So we should probably talk about like negative 1/2. So if we had negative 1/2, and I'm just looking at numbers here now to see if it goes shooting up like this, or if it makes a curve and comes down like this. Okay? That's what I'm looking at here right now. Okay? So if I put negative 1/2 in there, that's going to be a negative number, negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 squared is going to be positive 1/4, minus a negative is going to be positive. So it would be negative, or so it would be 1/4 minus negative 1/2, that's going to be 3/4. Minus 2 is going to be a negative number. So we have negative divided by a negative, so it's going to be positive. So my graph here in the middle zone is going to come down from up here, snake through, and go. Then we've got the other zone of over here. So let's try 3. That's going to be 3 on top. 9 minus 3 is 6, minus 2 is 4, 3/4, and 10 is going to be 10. 100 minus 10 is 90, minus 2 is 88. So that's going to be like 1/8. And there's our picture. Love it. Try this one without the use of the calculator. Step 1, find the domain. X squared plus 5 equals 0. So that's going to be x squared equals negative 5. That's going to be imaginary. So I know already that my domain is all real numbers, which means I don't have any vertical asymptotes, because there's no restrictions. So degree of the top is 2. Degree of the bottom is 2. That's the same. So my horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals the lead coefficient of the top is 2. Lead coefficient of the bottom is 1. So that's just going to be y equals 2 there as my horizontal asymptote. Love it. Okay. Next up, y-intercept is, so my f of 0 is going to be 2 times 0 squared minus 10, and 0 squared plus 5. That's going to be negative 10 over positive 5, which is negative 2. So my y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 2. X-intercept, 2x squared minus 10 equals 0. 2x squared would equal 10. So x squared would equal 5. So x would equal plus or minus the square root of 5. Love it. So my x-intercept
are at square root of 5, comma 0, and negative square root of 5, comma 0.
Square root of 5 is just a little bit more than 2.
There and there.
Okay. Love it. We got basically one zone here. Okay. So let's just go. We got plenty of points in the middle, so let's go negative 10 here and positive 10. If I go negative 10, negative 10 squared is 100, times 2 is 200, minus 10 is 190. Negative 10 squared is 100, plus 5 is 105. Okay? And so that's going to be about 1.9. Positive 10 is going to be the exact same thing, 190 over 105. So that's going to be about 1.9. So my graph here looks like comes in through here, comes down, crosses over, there, crosses back over, and away it goes. It's off to the races. It's just got a little bit of a valley in it halfway through. And that's that. From there, you can now do number 2 on the worksheet for week 14. See you in class tomorrow.